Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Going to be giving you my player ratings from our 0-0 draw with Manchester City. So I'm going to give David De Gea a 6 out of 10. He made one fantastic save in the game to deny Rashford Mahrez. But prior to that, didn't have much to do. Like I said, David De Gea will remain our number one for this present time. Probably will remain our number one for the rest of this season. This is his 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant at the club. So yeah, a 6 out of 10 for him. And Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he was caught out by Gabriel Jesus. He was also caught out by Raheem Sterling a few times. Weren't that good in the final third. He wasn't good in the first half, on Wan-Bissaka, but I've got to say he improved in the second half. 6 out of 10 for him. Now, Victor Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he threaded some good through balls. I don't think Victor Lindelof had a bad game, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I've still got my reservations about Victor Lindelof. Obviously he's enjoyed a good 3 years or so now at Manchester United. We paid £31 million for him from Benfica back in 2017. Harry Maguire, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Did make a couple of errors of what I saw. He did make 2 blocks from Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. Harry Maguire's too slow, and that's my element of concern about him. He certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we paid for him. As it stands at the moment, he is the most expensive centre-half in the world. So Maguire's going to get a 6 out of 10. Luke Shaw, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I thought Luke Shaw had a good game. Kept Manchester City's winners very, very quiet. Put some good deliveries in from corners. So yeah. Luke Shaw has enjoyed a good 6 years or so now at Manchester United. We got him for £30 million from Southampton back in 2014. Now, my only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. Today he started ahead of Alex Telles. I actually thought Alex Telles would have started the game. Now, Fred, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought Fred had a pretty good game. I thought defensively he was very, very good. I thought he played some good passes. He showed some good attacking intent. Fred did sustain a knock in the game, but obviously he managed to stay on the pitch. Fred's been at the football club now for a few years. We paid £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. So yeah, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. Paul Pogba, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. Now, he did have some shaky moments in the game, but he also had some good moments in the game where he kept the ball pretty well and, he played some good passes through. Paul Pogba's done really, really well recently, to his credit. He's done pretty well today. He made an impact when he came on against RB Leipzig. He did well last week against West Ham. Scored a fantastic goal. Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. I'm expecting him to leave Manchester United next year. There's a good chance that he could make a return to Juventus. If he does go back to Juventus, then maybe we'll get Cristiano Ronaldo as part of the deal. Maybe we'll get Matty Stillett as part of the deal, or maybe we could get Paulo Dybala as part of the deal. He has been linked to a move to Real Madrid as well. PSG, Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before. You know, earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with the football club until June 2022. There has been no talk, so, of getting him a long-term contract at the club. Now, his agent Mini Raiola said earlier on this week that Paul Pogba's time is over at Man United. He said he's unhappy. And he said he has to leave the football club, and he said he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Now, as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. But yeah, I'm going to give Paul Pogba a 7 out of 10. I had a feeling he was going to start this game today against Manchester City. Scott McTominay, he's going to get a 6 out of 10. Scott McTominay had a few chances in the game. I don't think he was brilliant though, Scott McTominay, and I do have my reservations about him. Obviously scored in the fixture last season at Old Trafford, didn't he, McTominay? Bruno Fernandez, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought Bruno Fernandez tried, to be honest with you. He had some good touches in the game. Obviously, he gave the ball away a couple of times. Certainly weren't his best game in a Manchester United shirt. But Bruno Fernandez has made the difference in the team, you've got to say. You know, he's been at Manchester United now for almost a year. He won Player of the Month for November. You know, he's won Player of the Month now quite a few times, reflects on his good run of performances. We paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January. After the 3-1 win against West Ham, it says we was preparing to offer him a new contract worth £200,000 a week, you know, doubling his current wages. But Bruno Fernandes is definitely the best signing we've made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes is going to get a 7 out of 10. Now Marcus Rashford, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. I thought he was quite wasteful, was Marcus Rashford, to be honest with you. He did have some chances in the game. Obviously, Marcus Rashford nearly won a penalty, you know, in the second half because he got fouled by Kyle Walker. The referee had actually give it, but obviously, you know, VAR had overturned the decision because obviously Marcus Rashford was offside. Weren't great today, but I've got to say, in general, he has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and he has enjoyed good games this season as Marcus Rashford. You know, Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for several years. So yeah, I'm just going to give him a 5 out of 10. And Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Martial, can't really give him a rating, you know. He was the only substitution we made in the game. So that is your player ratings from our 0-0 draw against Manchester City. Obviously, Edinson Cavani played no part because he's been out with a muscle problem. Solskjaer did confirm he was going to be a doubt for this game. I think Edinson Cavani, though, has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. The other week he came on against Southampton and scored 2 goals, and he also got an assist. You know, he scored his first goal for the club in our 3-1 win against Everton earlier on in the season, and he almost scored with his first touch against Chelsea. That was his Premier League debut. You know, we got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day, and he signed a 2-year contract with Man United, you know, worth around 240 grand a week. I said when we got Edinson Cavani, it will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But like I said on my match reaction recently, it was a very, very poor game, lacked intensity. There wasn't many chances in the game. The best chance of the game was from Riyad Mahrez. Like I said, you know, David De Gea made a world-class save to deny him. Kevin De Bruyne had some chances in the game. I thought he worked very, very hard for Manchester City. Also, too, Raheem Sterling had a half chance and he looked dangerous to City when he got the ball. I think Gabriel Jesus also had a half chance. Harry Maguire had the chance for us in the first half, but he headed it just over the bar. But it's one of the worst Manchester derbies I have actually seen. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer give his perception on the game. You know, he says that Manchester United are showing signs of improvement after the 0-0 draw with Manchester City. You know, but I was expecting goals in the game today. I really, really was. You know, Manchester City have been in a good vein of form recently. You know, they obviously beat Marcella 3-0 recently. They beat Fulham the other week 2-0. And they beat Burnley the other week by 5-0. And like I said, City have got good players. You know, City have got one of the best managers in the world in Pep Guardiola. You know, Pep Guardiola's endured a good 4 years or so now with Man City. You know, he signed a 2-year contract earlier on in the season. You know, we beat Manchester City 3 times out of the 4 times we played them last season. You know, we're beating them at Old Trafford 2-0. We're beating them at the Etihad 2-1 in the league. And we're beating them 1-0 in the League Cup second leg. But obviously that wasn't enough because we was 3-1 down from the first leg. But I wanted us to win the game today because I wanted to see us bounce back from the 3-2 loss against RB Leipzig. You know what I mean? You know, our next game is Sheffield United. You know, that is away from home. You know, we should be winning that because Sheffield United have been very, very inconsistent this season. They haven't even won a game yet this season, have they? Sitting bottom of the league. After Sheffield United, we've got Leeds. And after Leeds, we've got Everton in the Carabao Cup. And after Everton, we've got Leicester. So, games are coming up thick and fast for Man United. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won't be sacked as Manchester United manager at this present time. You know, Ed Woodward did confirm prior to the game that Solskjaer would not have been sacked even if we would have lost the game today because Ed Woodward is fully behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ed Woodward's come out quite a few times to show, you know, his support for Ole. I think the main explanation why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he is a club legend. I think disregarding him being a club legend, he would have been sacked by now as Manchester United manager. You know what I mean? But he's definitely not the long-term manager for Manchester United because he's not the right manager to lead the club to long-term success. You know what I mean? And Solskjaer did say a few weeks ago that his priority is to lead the club to long-term success. And he did say a new contract is not his priority at the moment because he was discussing his contract situation at Man United a few weeks ago. It's not guaranteed we'll extend his stay at the club. Ole is more than halfway through his 3-year deal, isn't he? But I can assure he will not see out his contract at the football club. Obviously, there has been a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in to replace Ole. You know, it did say that Pochettino would take the Man United job right now if it was offered to him. I think Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer. Because obviously Pochettino is well Premier League proven, he's dealt with top players and his philosophy is good. The only element of concern about him is not won anything in terms of silverware, Pochettino. But Pochettino has been managerless now for over a year and he said on Monday Night Football earlier on this season that he's ready for a return to management because he is missing football. But he's been linked with a few clubs, haven't he, like I've mentioned before. Massimiliano Allegri, he's been in our agenda a few times. So too has Julian Nagelsmann. Thomas Tuchel recently has been on our agenda. But to be honest with you, if we did decide to sack Solskjaer, it wouldn't solve a lot. Because Solskjaer's not only the problem at the football club. Obviously, our board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. You know, reflecting now poor our recruitment policy's been. You know, we've obviously overpaid for players as well. Obviously, the board haven't backed any of the managers that we've had since Alex Ferguson left. So we have been demanding the board out for several years, and there's still certain players at Man United that are not good enough to represent the football club. You know what I mean? This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season at Man United. You know, it's nearly now his 2-year anniversary at the club. You know, we appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. And like I've said, Solskjaer's in a position he shouldn't be in. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is facing the same problem as what Jose Mourinho was facing. Because obviously our board have obviously not brought, you know, the players that, you know, the managers wanted to bring in. Because Jose Mourinho made it clear to our board in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to bring a centre-half in. And obviously Jose Mourinho never got that centre-half in, did he? And that's one of the main explanations it didn't work out under him. There was other reasons as well he got sacked, because he, in general, he had bad disputes with our board, and obviously he had bad disputes with the top players, did Jose Mourinho. And I've got to say, we're probably appointing him in too late. You know, if Man United could finish in the top 4 this season, and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a very, very good season for Man United. Then that would give us something to build on. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently said that we can win the Premier League this season. We certainly won't win the Premier League this season. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won that now for a good 8 years or so. You know, Ole did well last season in his first full season because he got us qualification for the Champions League, didn't he? That didn't mean nothing because we're no longer in the Champions League now. We also finished third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. You know, Ole has brought around 10 senior players in since he came in, and he's spent over £200 million at the club, and he's endured 4 transfer windows now. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandez and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Facundo Pellistri, Edison Cavani and Amad Traore. Amad Traore will be joining the football club in January. And he's also brought quite a few young players into the club. So like I've said so many times, I do like the way he has promoted the youth. You know, we've enjoyed some good periods under him as well. You know, we are unbeaten in our last 5 league games, aren't we? That's good. You know, we went on the 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season, until I think Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. Was 14 unbeaten in the league, until Palace had beaten us on the opening day this season by 3-1. We've seen a lot of players depart the club as well since Ole came in. But our home form is a worry. It really, really is. You know, we've only won 2 games at Old Trafford this season in all competitions. We've only won 1 game in the league at Old Trafford, and that was the game against West Brom, beating them by 1-0, and we was very, very fortunate to win that. And we're beating RB Leipzig 5-0 at Old Trafford in the Champions League group stage. We have been enjoying our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. I think Solskjaer's got to solve the Paul Pogba issue, like I said. I think he's also got to identify his best 11, and he's got to select the right formation. You know what I mean? But away from home, we've done well. because we have won our last 9 away games in a row in the league, and we haven't lost away from home in the league since January. But in the 5 away games in the league this season, we've come from behind, obviously, to win games, haven't we? You know what I mean? But our performances just aren't good enough. You know, in the game today against City, you know, we had good periods in the game where we performed quite well, but created very, very little. But like I said anyway, you know, it was a very, very poor game of football. You know. But in the last 8 years, nothing's changed at Manchester United. We've just been playing catch-up. You know, we haven't dominated English football since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, Ferguson endured, 27 years at the football club. You know, won a total of 38 major honours. But didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the club. Since he's left, we've been inconsistent. And before Ferguson came into the equation, we was inconsistent. You know what I mean? But 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. You know, we spent over £1 billion on players in the last 8 years, and we've recruited around 36 players in since Ferguson left. So people will say, reflect on the money we spent, we should be much more of a commanding position than we are in. You know what I mean? You know, it is good that we are making plans for next year, because obviously next year we are looking to make more signings. There's been a lot of players on our agenda. Obviously, we're looking to get rid of more players next year, because, you know, there's still deadwood in the squad. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.